So just to go over things, we're doing kind of a COVID interviews this year because obviously COVID is still in full force, unfortunately. So we're being safe. You're being safe. I'm being safe. But how are you feeling? You good?
I'm feeling good. Yeah. Obviously, I hate COVID.
Yes.
You gotta live with it.
Yeah. What do you feel is the main difference from shooting 10 years versus shooting Think About Things?
I mean, it was a lot bigger project.
The shooting of this video was very different. Think About Things we did in one day, and it's a much smaller concept really, so there wasn't any green screen elements or anything like that, so it was much more straightforward. And this time we spent 3 days shooting the video, and half of that time was in a green screen studio where you're kind of acting in front of a green screen, which is way different than actually being in the room. So you don't get a sense as early as with Think About Things of how the video is going to look in the end.
People were speculating, this is just they're taking advantage of the earthquakes and the volcano and everything. The funny thing is that we shot everything, and Daði brought us the story way before even the earthquakes started here in Iceland. You felt the earthquakes.
Yeah, I'm up on the 4th floor and we were shaking. It was...
Yeah.
I kind of missed them. It's you got used to them and they were just a part of the family and you wanted more, and now we don't get them anymore, and gotta say I kind of miss them.
We were almost finished with the music video when we had a volcano in Iceland, so we knew that we needed to have some of that in the video, so we contacted a friend of Árni, my manager, and he very graciously lent us some amazing footage of the volcano, and that's why we have one of those shots.
The universe was just no, you have to wait until you get a good shot of the volcano.
Yep.
So you have to wait for that footage and then you can release the video.
Yeah.
My sister Birta made the rings in the music video. We were thinking about making merch from those, but found out in the end that it was just going to be too expensive to manufacture, that we would have to have the price really expensive. But she is making jewelry for us to wear on the Rotterdam stage. Other than that, we are working on, I'm not 100% sure if it's going to happen, but hopefully we're gonna have action figures with the monster and the robot. I really hope that's gonna happen because that would be super cool. And then we have a beer as well with Borg Brukhus. And then you can just check my website if you want to see some more merch. A plushie with the monster, that would be pretty cool too.
I'm curious about what is your favorite Easter egg, because we kind of went all out with callbacks and Easter eggs and stuff like that. So
I think my favorite is Bogi, the newscaster that we put in. Bogi is my favorite person ever. He's my celebrity crush. It was really, really nice to get him inside the video, even though it's a really small thing, but he is our national treasure.
Yeah.
And I think also one of my favorite Easter eggs are the statues that we put behind Ólafur.
And you can actually see them. They are behind Sara in the Think About Things video, and here they are behind Ólafur.
And now they're in front of me.
Yeah.
Ólafur ended up in the video because he's the best guy in the world. I just sent him an email and he asked me to call him, and then I gave him a call and Ólafur answered the phone, which was a big moment for me because he is an amazing actor and an amazing guy, and he has an amazing voice, so when he answers the phone, that's an amazing time. And he just gave us his time. Thank you Ólafur for being the best guy.
Ólafur is a freaking talented guy, and it was a lot of fun to have him come for this tiny part. which he made so big.
Also something I think there's a nice callback to like the Eurovision saga kind of thing, because Ólafur Darri obviously was the head of the committee, like the Icelandic Eurovision committee in the film.
Yeah.
So it was actually very, very, very nice to be able to get him in for that role.
Yeah, exactly.
We also got some actors back from the Think About Things video. And not all of them, because 10 Years has such a big storyline that we're trying to fit into such a short amount of time. I mean, it's a 3-minute song with a 5-minute music video. I'm just happy that we were able to still do those callbacks, like with Gunso and the tractor, which is not Daði's father, unlike some people have thought. We got Sara again, which is the girl that was playing the recorder from Think About Things, and her brother, and then Þorfinnur and his sister.
And we also had Helen. She was the baking lady who got spooked by the monster in the kitchen.
Yeah. What kind of pie was it?
Oh, are you asking me? I know nothing about pies. I think it was some kind of rhubarb.
I think it was hjónabandssæla.
Oh, then what I said was wrong.
No.
Or maybe it's the rhubarb in hjónabandssæla?
Yeah.
Oh, then I was right.
So it's
I am not a baker.
No, it's a traditionally Icelandic rhubarb pie. People are asking about the place we shot the headquarters, and if it was a set that we actually had to build or if it was a real place.
Well, we were so lucky that it's Toppstöðin, so it's an old power something. We had to set dress very little.
I think I can speak for the both of us that editing green screen material is not for everyone.
It's not as easy as it looks, but I think it was a good experience, and I think we are a lot wiser after it.
What was your favorite thing that changed from the green screen, how it was as a reference in the video, to the actual VFX shot?
I think my favorite one is when we see the robots for the first time. I was like, when Rob did that, I was just like, wow, this is amazing! Like, you're a fucking star! And he was like, oh, this is just like a preview. I haven't really done anything yet. So like, then we saw the actual product, which he had done.
It was a lot, and it was a lot for the amount of time that he got as well.
Yeah, exactly. So it's so Rob is this ridiculously talented VFX guy. He's like done a lot of stuff. So here we come, ask him to do the VFX for us, and I'm like, yeah, but I want them to be kind of shitty and look like 80s something. And he was like, okay.
So we wanted it to try and mimic miniature work still in green screen. So it was just always going to be kind of shitty.
Yeah, well, that's the style of the video.
Yeah,
so like,
but
we
that
wanted
was
it to be like referencing these old sci-fi movies and like Godzilla and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy with the result that we got, but I feel like we were like bringing his talent down a notch, because like obviously he could make this look like the new Godzilla movie, but that was not what we were going for.
I think the main inspiration for the video came from just all the sci-fi movies me and Arnie have watched together. We're big fans of sci-fi, so we watched a lot of that. And also I watched King Kong a lot when I was younger, and always thought Godzilla was really cool. I never actually watched Power Rangers, but still, like, the robot was the main inspiration for that was Power Rangers. I had like an action figure, a small like Power Ranger, like where you could press a button and the head would like flip, and then you would have the helmet on, and then the other way around. So I always thought Power Rangers were cool, but I never actually watched it as a kid.
My favorite kind of the VFX idea was when they shoot the lasers out at the monster out of their shirt, because to me that's the ultimate like Care Bear. Let's do the Care Bear stare. That was actually just what I saw in the editing phase. I was like, oh, this is Care Bears, love it.
And I hadn't even heard of it, so like Birta was showing me the references, and I was like, oh shit. I was obviously missed some things in my childhood.
Oh.
No, it was not meant as a bad thing. It was just like I watched Bob the Builder or something instead.
Yeah.
The main inspiration for the flying things is Star Wars, like where they're going through the forest. I can't remember in which movie. It's in Star Wars. That's what I had in mind when I was thinking about that. Also, Ólafur says, "Help us, Daði and Gagnamagnið, you're our only hope," which is another Star Wars reference. I am a fan of Star Wars. It maybe looks like I'm more a fan of Star Wars than I actually am. But I am a fan.
Some people were speculating and asking about the green screen stuff, obviously. And I think my favorite thing that we shot in the green screen was when the robot was supposed to take off, like the feet going, because how we shot that is so funny.
We were like thinking of how we could do it, and I was like, okay, let's just take the rolling thing, and we did it on a chair, right?
Yeah,
like,
he was
put him
laying
on a couple of chairs, and like people dragging him out. So he was like lying here, trying to do an example, but it's not working.
I have a video of it, so I can insert that instead.
Oh, okay, that's even better than me just making an example here.
People are also asking about the thing that they're driving.
Yeah, it's an old snowmobile. We took out the sled parts. Originally, it was supposed to be more stuff on it. It was going to be more references to like Gagnamagnið and something. But I'm really happy with how minimalistic it got in the end. I think my favorite shot from there is when Stefan is like licking his hand and putting it in there. And I saw that as soon as the video came out, it was like some people had already made a gif of that. It was like, okay, people are noticing it, even though it's in the back. There's a lot of things in the back that you don't see necessarily until like the fourth or fifth watch.
And also I think it's nice too, because Rob really wanted to try and get us into the video somehow.
Yeah, he pushed us into it.
And the way we ended up doing it was the making of video was on one of the monitors in the first shots.
Yeah,
on screen, so we are in there as well.
Yeah, and there was some clever guy that figured out, or girl, who figured out that shot where we see Daði inside this control room, which was supposed to be like surveillance thing. It's actually like an OB track for television.
Really? Someone
Oh
spotted
yeah,
that?
it is.
No, I mean, did someone actually spot that?
I thought you were being sarcastic.
No.
I was like, did you really shoot it? In the...
No, I don't know, but I'm just very surprised someone figured that out.
Yeah, and they were like, it's so cool to reference that. It was like a thing that actually controls the video if we're shooting Eurovision or something here.
Yeah.
It's the kind of track that just like cuts the shit together.
The structure of the song is kind of made like both with the video and the performance in Rotterdam in mind. So I wanted it to fit into both the performance and this specific story. So I had this story in mind even before I actually started writing the song. So I would say that the video idea came before the actual song itself.
I'd like to know how many % of the ideas were Daði's and how many % could you as director and cinematographer bring to it?
Wow, this is a really hard question. I did not bring my statistic table.
You should make a pie chart and we can...
Like the original idea is from Daði, but it's really hard to say what % is what and which, because it's a collaboration.
Yeah.
We talk through things, and it's really hard to say which idea was whose, because it's, as I said, it's collaboration.
And it's also in terms of cinematographer and director as well as producers. So we're also thinking about what's the simplest way to do it within these COVID restrictions, within the budget, within everything that we're trying to do.
Yeah, and still look good.
My favorite moment of at least me being in front of the camera and acting was when we were doing the rings and then summoning the robot. I thought that was pretty cool. That was also in the end of the first day, and we were in this beautiful scenery, and you could just tell that was going to look good. But my favorite thing that we shot was when Árni was in the monster costume. Basically everything where she's in the monster costume is hilarious to me because it's a hilarious costume and she is a hilarious person, and when those two things come together it's just ultimate hilarity. And when she was destroying the houses, that was a lot of fun to watch. Also, okay, the last scene where she goes into the mountain, gold every time.
The mountain thing was smaller than we had originally imagined. I went to Árni and asked her to put on her like monster head, and we were like doing different experiments on how the final exit should be, and we've figured out this
opening,
taking it apart, because it was supposed to be like a whole thing. It was not supposed to be something that you could take apart. But when we figured that out, it was like, oh, this is going to be good. And it accidentally looked like an actual Icelandic mountain called Herðubreið.
For me to be in that monster costume was a little bit hard because I was then 2.5 months pregnant. The monster costume is actually quite comfortable to wear. It's not too warm because it's just wool, and wool breathes well, so it was not too warm or too cold to wear. And we had this big wind machine blowing on us in the suiting, so it could cool us down a bit. The main problem with the suiting in those big costumes was that we had these big helmets on, and those helmets were quite hard to hear through. But it all went good.
There was someone asking and was dying to know because they were intrigued by how we shot when Daði Gagnamagnið was blown away by the monster or Árni. But it was crazy windy, and we were also in this open field. So we had planned to shoot the scene with the kids in a different place, but we actually just had to find somewhere to shoot with them that was not crazy windy.
Poor kids.
I feel like everyone, like we had the best crew as well.
For sure.
Like a giant shout out to our crew.
When we were starting the day, we were driving from Reykjavík, and we were so scared that the whole day was fucked because we had to drive like over a mountain to get to the location. So we couldn't drive the big camera truck. So we had to like take the things from the camera truck that we needed the most during the first hours of shooting, put that into small cars, and then we drove off and started the day. And the camera truck needed to just come when the wind has slowed down a little bit.
Also because we had to start during a certain time to be able to stop shooting, because we didn't have full 12 hours of daylight either way. Starting getting dark around, I think it was 5 or 6 in the afternoon.
Yeah, so like because Iceland obviously has this, it's really dark in the winter time, but then it's like not dark during the summertime. We only had, I think, 8 hours of daylight for us to shoot this. So we were traveling in dark to the location, and also traveling in twilight back, because we couldn't shoot anymore as we had the twilight, because that didn't fit with anything that we were doing.
Yeah. There's a question about how we did the scene with the farmer with Gunso trapped inside the tractor, because apparently that's some people's favorite moment, is that when he's like banging on the tractor door. That was just green screen, baby.
Yeah, and so much fun. I think like this whole video was so much fun to shoot. We had so much fun on set, even though like the first day was kind of a stress ball, and like I lost my voice and everything. It was like, I look back at those days, it was just, they were good. They were really good.
Oh, fun fact, think about things. Our last video won the Icelandic People's Choice Award for Best Music Video.
Think About Things. Þetta Daði Freyr og Gagnamagnið, en leikstjóri Guðný Rós Þórhallsdóttir. Þessi handa þér, hvorki meira minna.
Hi. Also, the song was in the Icelandic Music Awards Song of the Year. Top Song of the Year.
Yay! Congrats!
You too! Daði brought this over a few days ago.
In the end, because we couldn't have an actual rap party because of COVID restrictions, then we had it online. I'm very excited for COVID to not be a thing anymore. We were gonna have like a real rap party because the rules in Iceland were getting very loose. But then, like, I think the day before or on the same day even as we were planning to have the rap party, which was the day of the release, then we got some more COVID cases and the rules were stricter. Gagnamagnið is a Eurovision performance group, like we're not an actual band. So this is probably the last song that we make together as Gagnamagnið, so probably the last Gagnamagnið video, but you never know. The robot costume and monster costume were made by me and Arni, mostly Arni. She at least made most of the monster costume along with my mom, and then her dad, Arni's dad, helped us a lot with the robot costume. We are going to make a dedicated making of the costumes video that's going to be on my YouTube page at some point. I don't know when.
Thank you for being a part of this making of behind the scenes video.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Until next
Takk
time.
fyrir mig, þetta var gaman.
Já, takk, gaman að hafa þig. Bye.
Af hverju voru að gera þetta á ensku?
Bye.